Hello, Chad here with Scaled Down Customs, back at MRS Hobby Shop, continuing the build of Tamiya's new Nissan Fairlady 240Z. So we've got some of the chassis completed, the body painted up and in clear, so now we're going to move on to engine assembly. So I'm going to get these parts cut off the sprue and cleaned up, and then some of the parts like the engine block, we'll do some pre-paint assembly, and then get these parts painted and assembled. Alright, I got my pieces all cut off the sprue and cleaned up. Again, Tamiya does really good job hiding those mold lines. And again, one of the other things I really like about, speaking of hiding mold lines, that Tamiya does a really good job of just really thinking things through. Where the point's going to be mounted, what's going to be visible, hiding mold lines again along the seam and the transmission, and that's true with every piece. Putting mounting points on parts that are going to be covered up eventually. Again, Tamiya just does a really good job engineering all their kits. So I'm going to go get some primer on these pieces, and it's probably overkill to prime every single little tiny thing, but I just do that anyway, so don't feel like you have to build the way I build, but I just feel like it just gives the paint something more to stick to. So I do prime every single piece before I paint it. So anyway, got these pieces ready for primer, so I'm going to go spray these in primer, and then we'll be ready to start putting some color on this. And again, the primer that I'll be using is the Mr. Surface 1000, thinned 1-to-1 with the Mr. Color thinner. Alright, so I've just been working on getting my parts painted up in preparation for installation, so I think I've pretty much got that ready to go. So, once again, let's start putting some stuff together. Alright, I got most of the chassis assembled. I really apologize for the quality on the video on that last little bit. Evidently, as I was editing, noticed that my autofocus had turned off. So I apologize for the blurriness, but I wanted to at least have some of the assembly footage in there, even though it was blurry. But hopefully you can see a little bit better how this looks, how this is turning out. I love those metal air intakes. And then of course the metal transfer on the valve cover. That looks really, really good. Everything went together really, really well, except for radiator surround. I fought that going in pretty good for some reason, but everything else went together perfectly. So a little bit of the undercarriage there. The suspension. Yeah, this is a really nice kit, and it is coming together very nicely. I am really happy with this. So anyway, apologize again for the fuzzy quality on there. I'll have to watch that a little more carefully. So making some pretty good progress on this thing. So let's keep working. Just a quick note on the instructions. Make sure you have your interior tub upside down when you decide which side to drill the holes on. Because if we're doing the Japanese version, the Nissan, we want the holes for this bar to be on the passenger side. So just make sure you have your interior tub turned over so you know which side to drill those holes on. All right, so while you guys weren't looking, I've just been kind of painting up some of the rest of the pieces. So the interior pieces, just getting some detail painting on some of those pieces. And then the next thing we need to do is put in some carpet in here. So that's what we're gonna do now. To put in the carpet, I'm just going to be using some flocking and some flat clear from Tamiya just to use as my glue. And I usually like to put down a piece of paper just to make cleanup a little bit easier, because this stuff will get absolutely everywhere. All right, so as good as these chrome pieces look right from the factory, which is pretty good, I am going to strip them down, mostly so that I can clean up those sprue mounting points and just to soften up the chrome a little bit, since the car and everything else is kind of darker color. So I'm gonna go spray these with some easy off oven cleaner just to clean off that chrome, start getting them cut off and cleaned up from the sprues, and then we'll prime and paint these up a different color as well. Well, it'll be chrome, but it'll just be a little bit more of a muted chrome. So I'm gonna go do that. All right, so I got all my chrome pieces de-chromed and then re-chromed again. This came out a little bit darker than I was hoping, but actually I think that's going to look good. So like I said, I just spray some oven cleaner on it, comes off in a few minutes, and then I went ahead and cleaned them up from the sprues, and then primed, and then I just used the all-clad process, which is just spray it with gloss black, and then just lightly go over it with the chrome and just kind of build up the chrome until it's at the level that you want. So now that I've got those pieces re-chromed again, as well as like the door handles and all the other little tiny chrome pieces. So now that I got these de-chromed, we can move ahead with some insulation on some of the other parts. So we'll be finishing up the exhaust line with the chassis, the interior, and some of the other pieces, and as well as getting the body cleaned up as well, because I always get dust in my clear. So we're gonna work on that, and then we're gonna work on final assembly and hopefully get this thing finished up in the next video. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.